So the highlights from our third place match in League B at the Concacaf U-15 Boys Championship between Guatemala and Trinidad and Tobago. Guatemala again started the first half with a lot of initiative. Trinidad struggled to get a hold of the ball over the opening 10 minutes or so, but again, they didn't give a lot away despite that territorial and possession dominance by Guatemala. There was not a lot of cutting edge to be had from it. And that was indicative there, a free kick that sailed over everyone and out. Trinidad started to find their footing a bit around the 10-minute mark, and then on the 13th, they suddenly took the lead. It was a nice little ball by Jalen Roberts into the path of Kevez Quintero, who slammed it past Mario De Paz from an acute angle. Did not matter. It's a really good hit from Quintero, and he was in the back of the net, and it was 1-0 to Trinidad, and as it turned out, that was the only goal that would be required on the afternoon. It's a great first half from Jalen Roberts. Besides assisting the goal, he also had a shot on target there, and he would be instrumental in another key moment late in that first half. Guatemala tried to get back in it, and 11v11, they were still right in this game. They sent one on target there that was saved by Christian Telfair. This was good work later in the first half by Jeremiah Nanton to get around the edge toward the end line. His cutback, though, couldn't quite pick out anyone in white. And then just before halftime, it got really tough for Guatemala. Again, it was Jalen Roberts at the heart of things for Trinidad, this time earning a red card on Guatemala's keeper, Mario De Paz, taking him down just outside the area. Subsequent free kick would be saved by substitute goalkeeper Nicolas Merida. And that was all for the first half, but that made it so difficult for Guatemala in the second half. They only had a couple occasions where they were able to get numbers forward in the attack as they tried to chase that equalizing goal. This free kick following a foul was much too close to the goalkeeper and pretty simple for Christian Telfair. This was one moment where Guatemala looked like they might have something on the counter, but the touch was just a bit too heavy from Jorge Yol. Trinidad didn't create too many opportunities in the second half, but they also didn't need to. They were pretty smart about managing the ball. This was a good run and good persistence by Samuel Balfour that resulted in a save from Merida. That shot over the bar from Joshua Perez, about the closest Guatemala came in the second half. Here's where they thought they might have a chance to break in, but it was a wonderful last-ditch tackle by Akeem Duncan, helping Trinidad and Tobago salt this game away and claim third place. So let's look back on how this final unfolded between Puerto Rico and Jamaica. Puerto Rico came out with a lot of emotion, as you'd expect. But it was Jamaica who were able to turn the game in their favor permanently, as it turned out, just a couple minutes from kickoff. And it was Kelvin D. Brown who would be so involved throughout this game, who laid it into the path of Tevin Savage and was able to stab it home just over 120 seconds in. It was such a good contact. The layoff was so perfect to allow him to step right into it first time. And his finish was great into that bottom corner. It beat Martin Perez at the near post, but it was so well hit, you can't really begrudge him that. This was a major moment in the match. 14th minute, Puerto Rico really thought they should have had a penalty there. If they had gotten it, who knows how that might have changed the complexion of the game. But again, Jamaica were the better team for most of this match, so you certainly can't begrudge them this victory. And they drew a couple yellow cards in the first half as well. Puerto Rico were a frustrated side for a lot of this match. Falling behind so early, they felt aggrieved at some of the decisions that they felt went against them. They would pick up another yellow card just before halftime, but struggled to keep their heads a bit, which again, something that you learn at this level. But they nearly were level just before halftime. This was the save of the game from Jaheim Gray. And the two goals that Jamaica scored obviously were the difference in the scoreline, but that save there, one of the real differences in the game, because it's another moment that could have really turned it just before half. In the second half, Jamaica had lots of good opportunities to add to their one-goal lead. It took them a long while to finally do so. They would put dangerous crosses into the box. Kelvin D. Brown was undefendable for most of this game. He could have had a hat trick of assists at least. Jamaica did give away a free kick with about 10 minutes to play. It was seemingly the only hope that Puerto Rico had of getting back in this game was making something from a set piece. They never quite could. Kelvin D. Brown continued to cause problems. He was able to draw the keeper out of his goal mouth, but again, his teammates weren't able to finish the play and finish off the game. Kelvin D. Brown would end up taking matters into his own hands late on after this shot went just wide. It resulted in a corner for Jamaica as we entered second half stoppage time. And then you thought Kyle Hussey would just take it to the corner. Nope, he put in a perfect cross, and there at last was Kelvin D. Brown arriving at the right time on the end of it to plant it into the back of the net and plant Jamaica firmly onto the winner's podium in this League B final. Jamaica, champions of League B. And they would receive the medals, and they would receive the trophy shortly thereafter. And Kelvin D. Brown, the man of the match with a goal and an assist, and lifting the trophy on a day of celebration for the young Reggae Boys.